Welcome to the Chop Seat, where Braves country meets the big leagues. Your host Vic is here to break down everything from truest part to the top of the standings across the league. From walk-offs to wild trades, this is your seat for everything baseball, but a heavy dose of chop. So grab your glove and settle in, because the Chop Seat is open.
Welcome to the Chop Seat, your favorite place for Braves, baseball, and the rest of the league. I'm your host, Vic, and today is Monday, July 7th. I hope you guys had a great weekend spending your time with friends and family. Hopefully your teams had a good weekend as well. My team definitely did not have a good weekend. It was a terrible one. Once again, you'll see why when we get to Tomahawk Takes. We're going to catch up with your teams when we get to the MLB. And then we're going to see who the Braves will be facing next in the Braves forecast. So without further ado, let's head right into our first segment.
It's time for Tomahawk Takes.
It's time for Tomahawk Takes, where we look at the previous Braves series. And that was a series against the struggling Baltimore Orioles. But before we get into that, don't forget to use code CHOPSEAT for $20 off your first purchase on SeatGeek. Make sure you save yourself $20 off on SeatGeek. If you're buying tickets for any show, any sporting event, any concert, use code CHOPSEAT and you're going to get yourself $20 off your first purchase. So yeah, it was a series against the Baltimore Orioles. The Orioles have been struggling thus far the entire year. You had the two most disappointing teams in their respective leagues, the Braves hosting the Orioles in this one. The Orioles, again, 37-49. The Braves, 39-47. These two teams have been struggling to play good, consistent baseball the entire year. And you were still thinking, no, even though the Braves are struggling, they should be able to get these guys because, they're just a bit worse than the Braves. But that's not what happened. The Baltimore Orioles, they come into Atlanta, they bring the brooms out, and they actually sweep the Braves. They flip-flop when it comes to the standings after that. And the Braves, they end their 9-game homestand going 2-7. And during their longest homestand of the season, it was a 9-game homestand. They go 2-7. Very, very disappointing to see from the team. The team is now 13 and a half games back in the NL East. I keep mentioning that is over with. GG's when it comes to the division. And now you're 9 games back in the wild card. I'm this close to declaring the team dead and saying GG's to the wild card race as well. And, unless they turn it up in these last, I think they have a couple series before the All-Star game. Unless they show me anything different, I'll be declaring them dead myself personally. Something that I really don't do. I'm usually like, you know what? We still got a lot of ball games. But they're not showing any signs, man. They're not showing any signs of life. When they do, it's just for one game, and then they go back to their old ways, and you'll see that's exactly what happened here during this series. And game one, it was started by our old friend, Uncle Charlie Morton. He was starting for the Baltimore Orioles. He went 5 1/3, 6 hits allowed, 2 runs, both of those earned, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts. He picks up the win. He's now 5-7 with a 5.47 ERA, and it was Spencer Strider, probably your best starter left. I mean, can't forget about Grant Holmes as well. But when it comes to outright stuff, Spencer Strider is the best pitcher right now. For the Braves starting pitching, he went 6 innings, 7 hits, allowed 3 runs, 3 earned, 1 walk, and 6 Ks. He picks up the loss on this one. He's now 3-7 with a 3.93 ERA. He wasn't the sharpest, but he wasn't terrible. I mean, he gave up 3 runs. He just gave up 3 runs. If you're able to put some runs on the board, you still should be able to win that ball game. And that's what you thought when you saw that Charlie Morton was coming. Charlie Morton has been a bit rocky here and there. You can see it with his 5.47 ERA. But, as of late, he has been pitching better. But still, you would think that, they would get to Charlie at some point. And they did, but it was just a little tickle, and it was not enough. For the Braves in the bullpen, Dylan Lee and Pierce Johnson, they came in relief. They pitched some fine, clean innings after coming in for Spencer Strider, so that's good to see. But Strider, he gave up 2 homers in the game. That's the way the runs came It was via homers. It was Jordan Westbrook in the top of the third. He hit a solo shot that made it 1-0 Baltimore. And then Cedric Mullins in the top of the fifth, he hits a 2-run homer. That makes it 3-0 Braves. Bottom of the sixth, the rookie, do right and crush everything. Drake Baldwin, he hits a 2-run homer. That's number 10 of the season for him. That makes it 3-2 Baltimore, but it's not enough. That's all the Braves are able to get. And again, they lose game one in a close game, another 1-run ball game. I've lost count how many run ball games this team has lost. It was 21 games the other day. It's probably 22 or 23 now. And it's just there was another 1-run game in this one. So it's probably either between 22 to 24 1-run losses the entire year thus far, which is insane. But we're going to see what happened in game 3 soon. But after we look at game 2, it was a 9-6 victory for the Orioles. It was Dean Kremer for the Orioles. He went 4 1/3, 8 hits, 5 runs, all those earned, 1 walk and 3 Ks. And then for the Braves, it was a bullpen game. It was started by Aaron Bummer, who went 2 1/3, 2 hits, allowed 3 runs. All 3 of those earned, 1 walk and 5 Ks for him. He gave up 2 homers. And like I said, it was a whole bullpen game, and it went to extras. It went into the top of the 10th. Montero was the guy on the mound in that inning. He ends up giving 2 hits, 3 runs. Both of those earned. Sorry, 2 of those earned. You know that first ghost run on second does not count as an earned run. Excuse me. He also had 1 walk and 1 strikeout. And actually, the Braves in this one, they started the scoring first. They went up to they got up with an early lead. I can't even speak right now. It was Austin Riley. He hit a 2-run homer. That was number 13 of the season for him. That made it 2-0 Braves. But it was like a guns blazing game. You know, it was back-to-back scoring from both teams. Punches here, left and right haymakers. So on the top of the third, Tyler O'Neill, he homers. That makes it 2-1. And then Jordan Westberg, he hits another homer. That makes it 3-2 Baltimore. That gives them the lead in the top of the third. Bottom of the third, the Braves, they come right back. They come out swinging. Matt Olson, he hits home run number 17 into the chop house. That ties up the ball game. That makes it 3-3. Top of the fourth, Baltimore, they come right back. Colton Cowser, he hits a 2-run homer. That makes it 5-3 Baltimore. Bottom of the fourth, Braves come back again. Matt Olson with 2 on and 2 outs. He hits an RBI single to right field. That makes it 5-4. And then Austin Riley, he doubles in a run. Matt Olson, he's sent home. Relay throw, guns him out. He's gunned out. They were trying to take the lead, but at least they tied the ball game 5-5. Olsen was trying to score from first on that one, so you got to cut him some slack. But yeah, he gets gunned out. That's 5-5. Bottom of the sixth, the Braves, they take the lead. It was bases loaded for Jurickson Profar. He grounds out with the bases loaded. 1 run scores. That's 6-5 Braves. You look back, you really wish you would have got some more runs, because that probably would have been the ball game right there. Top of the 7th, Baltimore, they end up tying it up on the Jackson Holly RBI single. That was 6-6. And then there was no scoring until they got to the top of the 10th. Top of the 10th, old friend from last year, Ramon Laureano, he hits an RBI double. That makes it 7-6 Baltimore. And then Jacob Stallings, man, you wouldn't expect him to be cooking a little bit offensively, but he hits a 2 RBI double. That makes it 9-6 Baltimore. The Braves, they go down in the bottom of the 10th. Nothing brewing. They just can't put anything together. They go down quietly. That's the ball game. They lose game 2 in that fashion. And then game 3, it was a 2-1 victory for the Baltimore Orioles. Another another 1-run loss for the Braves. And it was a good start by Trevor Rogers for the Orioles. He went 6 2/3, 4 hits, allowed no runs, 2 walks, 6 Ks. He picks up his second win of the season. He has a 1.57 ERA. It was Grant Holmes for the Braves. He's been giving us, phenomenal starts. And the Braves can't even seem to win one whenever he's on the mound. They keep squandering his performances. He went 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, 3 walks, 5 Ks. He picks up the loss in this one. He's now 4-8 with a 3.44 ERA. Didn't leave. Pierce Johnson and Raisel Iglesias, they come in relief. They were great. But then, the only Braves run in this game, it was by Sean Murphy. Sean Murphy showing some pop again. He's been warming up a little bit with the bat, trying to keep us in games. He hits number 13 of the season. Jackson Holiday, though, man, this kid had himself a series. He had himself a game. In this game, he was 4 for 4, and he had a 2-run homer in the top of the third, and that was pretty much it. 2-1 ball game. It was a different lineup for the Braves in this one. A lot of guys had days off. Ozuna was off. Ronald Acuna Jr., he was off. You finally get the catcher and DH. You have both catchers in the lineup. I know a lot of people have been asking for that, since it does seem like, Ozuna is pretty hurt. So this was how the lineup was constructed for the final game. It was Jerson Profar leading off. I want him leading off, and I want Acuna batting second. Let's see if they do that starting tomorrow. But it was Profar leading off, Matt Olson hitting second, Austin Riley third, Sean Murphy hitting cleanup. That paid off. You can see him showing that pop. Like I said, Ozzie Albies was batting fifth. Drake Baldwin, the rookie catcher, he was in DH. Eli White was at center field. Michael Harris, the second, had himself a day off. Stuart Fairchild, he was at right field, and then Nick Allen at short. So that's how the lineup was constructed. I mean, it didn't make much of a difference. They could only put up one run in this one. So again, you want this team to score runs like they did in game 2 when you score more than 4 runs, 5 runs, you might win the ball game, because the pitching has been pretty decent. But in this one, the Baltimore Orioles offense was just too much in game 2. That's why they lost 9-6. And then the other games, game 1 and game 3, when the Braves can't score more than 3-4 runs, it's a game, man. It's a game over. It's just frustrating to see that this team can't be consistent when it comes to the offensive side of the game. They could give you one game where they score, a decent amount of runs like they did in game 2, but then all the games before that and after that, they're just low scoring affairs. And this team doesn't have what it takes to be able to win these close games. That's just a matter of fact. And you want to give the bullpen a chance, put them in less stressful situations. But when you're not scoring enough runs, you're not going to do that. These guys are going to be pitching, high stress innings, and that's just what it comes down to, man. This team doesn't have what it takes. But like I said, I'm this close to calling this team dead. It's frustrating to say, frustrating to even think that we've been spoiled for the last 6 years. Being in the playoffs, winning the divisions. So I don't know. I'm sorry, maybe last 7 years, but it's just starting to get frustrating, man. These guys are talented. That's what I keep saying. And you keep thinking, you know what, it can't get any worse than this. This has to be rock bottom. But then you see the next game and you're like, dude, yeah, there's still more to come. It still gets deeper and deeper. The rock bottom just does not go away. You don't hit rock bottom. You just keep going under and under. And that's just the way it is. That's just the way it's looking like for this team. Very talented ball club, but they just can't get it together. So that's what happened to the Braves this weekend. They get swept again by the Baltimore Orioles. My boy, Baseball Tonight producer, Charles Taylor Schwenk, his Baltimore Orioles coming to town and they sweep us. That was just a quick summary of it. And, you're thinking the Orioles, they're done, but it's looking like they still have a chance. They keep playing baseball like this, they still may have a chance. So, yeah, that's it for Tomahawk Takes. Hopefully next Tomahawk Takes segment that we record is a little bit better. So let's dive right into our next segment.
It's time for the MLB.
It's time for the MLB, where we catch up with the action from around the league. We have some good series. We're going to start in Washington, D.C. We had the Boston Red Sox at the Washington Nationals. The Boston Red Sox, they bring out the brooms. They sweep. They win game 1, 11-2. Game 2, 10-3. And game 3 on Sunday, 6-4. And after that, we had a shakeup in the Nationals management. They fired GM Mike Rizzo. They fired manager Davey Martinez. Some folks are shocked. Some folks weren't. It was Miguel Cairo now takes over as interim manager, and I might not be saying his name correctly. Mike DeVardello, he's named the interim GM. He was the assistant GM. Now he's named the interim GM. So yeah, nice little shakeup there in Washington. So Washington National fans, let me know your thoughts. Give us some more information, enlighten us on how you feel about that move. Then we go down to Philadelphia, or we go up to Philly from Washington. It's the Cincinnati Reds at the Philadelphia Phillies. The Phillies, they win 2 out of 3. They end up winning game one. They lose game one, 9-6. The Cincinnati Reds steal that one, but then the Phillies come back in game 2. They win 5-1. They win game 3, 3-1. That was a Zach Wheeler start, and he finished that entire game. He goes complete game. Of course, he pitches 9 innings, 1 hit allowed, just 1 run. It was earned, no walks, 12 strikeouts for Zach Wheeler. He now has a 2.17 ERA, and the lone run in that one was by he allowed a home run by Austin Hayes. That was it. That wasn't enough. Like I said, 3-1 victory for the Phillies. They keep rolling, playing decent baseball. Then we go to Chicago. The St. Louis Cardinals at the Chicago Cubs. I had highlighted this series as a good one to keep an eye on during the weekend. The Cubs, they win game 1 at home, 11-3. Cardinals, they come back. They win game 2, 8-6. But then game 3, the Cubs, they shut out the Cardinals. Big win, 11-0 victory. They continue to put up lots and lots of runs. I wish the Braves will be able to do that, but they just can't. Then we head to New York, the Subway Series, a battle of the boroughs, the BX against Queens. The New York Mets, man, they win game 1, 6-5. They win game 2, 12-6. That gives them the series win. And then the Yankees, to avoid the sweep, they end up winning game 3. They win that one 6-4. Aaron Judge, it was pretty bad during the week, and he gets hit in the face after one of the innings. I guess the infielders throw the ball out to the outfielders coming in. I guess he wasn't looking. Anthony Volpe threw one towards him. Judge got hit in the face, but thankfully for you guys, thankfully for him, he's okay. He hits home run number 33 actually on Sunday. But listen. And also Carlos Mendoza, he gets ejected in game 3, arguing balls and strikes. You can't do that, but he gets ejected. But remember, the Yankees, they came into this one after getting swept by the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays overtake first place in the AL East. Now the Yankees find themselves 3 games back. So Blue Jays, they've been rolling, man. You're gonna see why. Next series, though, we got the Pittsburgh Pirates at the Seattle Mariners. Seattle Mariners actually shut out the Pirates offense in all 3 games. It was a 6-0 win in game 1, 1-0 victory in game 2 and game 3. I can't even talk. So they end up sweeping these guys. Impressive to see from the Seattle Mariners pitching staff. Next, we go to Minnesota. Tampa Bay Rays at the Minnesota Twins. Remember, the Rays were hot a few weeks ago, man, but they've cooled down a little bit. The Twins, they win game 1, 4-3. They win game 2 as well, 6-5. And then the Rays, they come back and avoid the sweep in game 3, a close one in 10 innings. In the top of the 10th, they end up taking the lead, and they win the game 7-5. So the Twins, again, they win 2 out of 3 in this one. And then we go to San Diego, the Texas Rangers at the San Diego Padres. The Padres win the first game 3-2 with a walk-off single in the bottom of the 10th. That's the way they win it. Texas Rangers, they come back in game 2. They win that one 7-4. But the Padres, they win the rubber matchup 4-1. They win the series. Next, we go to the LA Angels at the red hot Toronto Blue Jays. Like I said, they just took over the AL East, and they win game 1, 4-3, a 10th inning walk off. And after this series was all said and done, they have now won 8 games in a row, 7-1 during that homestand. Impressive to see from them. They won that with the first game on a walk off on a throwing error by pitcher Sam Backman after a bunt. He throws the ball away. The game-winning run scores. That's the way they win that one. Then they walk it off in game 2. believe it or not, by the same score, 4-3 win as well. That one was not in the 10th. It was in the 11th. It was a walk-off single by Addison Barger. Um, it was off of the glove. The ball deflected off of the glove. First baseman Nolan Schanuel. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Nolan Schanuel from the Angels, first baseman. Ball goes into the outfield. That's game over. Again, like I said, walk-off victory 4-3 in the 11th. And then they win 3-2 in game 3, and they bring out the brooms at home. They send the Angels packing. Then we go to Cleveland, Detroit Tigers at Cleveland. The Detroit Tigers, they sweep their AL Central rivals. Game 1, they went 2-1. Game 2, 1-0 shutout. And then game 3, 7-2. It was a crazy comeback, guys. They were down heading into the top of the 9th. They tie it in the top of the 9th, and then they just they go off, man. They score, I think it was 5 runs on the top of the 10th. They go off. They win that ball game. Tarek Skubal, he was pretty good. He went 7 innings, 3 hits, no runs, no walks, 10 Ks. He now has a 2.02 ERA, and that rally was started and led by Trey Sweeney for the Tigers. That's how they won the ball game. Then we go to Miami. Milwaukee Brewers at Miami. The Brewers, they win game 1 6-5. Miami comes back. They win game 2 4-2. And then the final game, the Milwaukee Brewers, they win the game and the series 3-1. They end up taking 2 out of 3. And it was a nice return for Brandon Woodruff. He comes back after being out. I think I saw a thing. It was 600 plus days he hadn't pitched in. So it was great to see this performance from him. He went 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run. That was earned. No walks, 8 Ks in that performance. So very, very good to see from him. Then we go to the Colorado Rockies hosting the Chicago White Sox. The White Sox, they win 2 out of 3. And this one, they win the series. Then we go to Houston at the LA Dodgers. Remember, I had mentioned it was World Series rematch. I told you guys to keep an eye on this one. And actually, the Astros go into town and they sweep. They sweep the Dodgers for the first time at Dodger Stadium since 2008. They actually outscored them 29-6. Pretty crazy to see by the Astros. They won the first game 18-1. They won the second one 6-4, and then 5-1 in game 3. So that's how that series went down. I believe Ohtani pitched in one of these. Then he pitched 2 innings. So, you see that inning count going up little by little. Then we go to Arizona hosting the Kansas City Royals. Royals, they take 2 out of 3 in this one. And then San Francisco Giants at the Athletics. San Francisco is able to take 2 out of 3. So that's how the action went down. We had an AL Player of the Week. Yankee fans might know who this is. It was George Springer of the Toronto Blue Jays. He ends up with the award. He hit 429, 5 homers, and 13 RBIs for the week. And in the National League, we had co-winners. We had Michael Busch. He won slash line of 5.65, 6.15, and 1.174 with 4 homers. And then Zach Wheeler, he had a 0.53 ERA over 17 innings pitched. So congratulations to those 3 gentlemen. News around the league. We already mentioned the Nats firing of the GM and the manager. We saw Pete Alonso will not be in the home run derby, but we did see that Byron Buxton, Georgia native, he's going to be in the home run derby, so you can pencil him in. Rob Manfred, he selects Clayton Kershaw to be in the All-Star game via his legend pick, whatever that is. Rob Manfred showing his power. But, well-deserved by Kershaw. Well-deserved. I like that legend pick that Rob Manfred brought out. Yankees, they lose Clark Schmidt. He's going to be out. Tommy John surgery, so that is not good to see from the Yanks. For the Yanks, we have a few series starting tonight, and then we have the rest of them starting tomorrow. Tonight, it's going to be Tampa Bay at the Detroit Tigers. That's going to be a good one to see. Colorado is going to be at Boston. Miami Marlins at Cincinnati. That's going to be a 4-game set. Pittsburgh Pirates at the Kansas City Royals. Toronto Blue Jays at the Chicago White Sox. Los Angeles Dodgers at Milwaukee. Cleveland at Houston. Texas Rangers at the LA Angels. That's going to be a 4-game set. Arizona at the San Diego Padres. That's a 4-game set. Keep an eye on that one. Those are always fun. And then Philadelphia at San Francisco for 3. That's going to be another fun one. Then Tuesday, we have 5 series that start on Tuesday. It's going to be the New York Mets at the Baltimore Orioles, Seattle Mariners at New York, Yankees, Chicago Cubs at Minnesota Twins, and then Washington at St. Louis Cardinals. And then we got the Braves one we're going to see just shortly. But since it's a new week, let's look at the standings, guys. Let's look at the standings. We're going to start with the AL East. As I mentioned before, the Toronto Blue Jays are on top, 8 wins in a row. They lead the Yankees by 3 games. And the Rays are actually 3 games back. They both have identical records of 49 and 41. Boston Red Sox, they're holding on. They're in 4th place, 46 and 45. They're 6.5 back. The Baltimore Orioles are climbing back into it. They're 40 and 49, 11.5 games back. In the AL Central, the Detroit Tigers are 57 and 34. They have a nice, comfortable lead, 13.5 games ahead of the Minnesota Twins, who are 43 and 47. The Kansas City Royals, 43 and 48, 14 games back. And the Cleveland Guardians, 40 and 48, 15.5 games back. And then you got the Chicago White Sox. They have just gotten win number 30 the other day. And for the Guardians, they have now lost 10 in a row. So keep an eye on that. Hopefully they're able to break that streak soon before it gets any worse. AL West, we have the Houston Astros on top. They won 3 in a row, of course, after sweeping. They have a nice 7-game lead over the Seattle Mariners, who also swept their respective series. They're 48 and 42. Texas Rangers, 44 and 46. They're 11 games back. The LA Angels, 43 and 46. They're 11.5 games back. And the Athletics, 37 and 55, 19 games back. Now we go to the NL. The NL West, 56 and 35 are your Los Angeles Dodgers. They're in 1st place. San Diego Padres, 48 and 41, 7 games back. The Giants, 7 games back as well. They're 49 and 42. Arizona Diamondbacks, 44 and 46. They're 11.5 games back. And then you got the Rockies somewhere down there. They're at 21 wins, and you figure out the losses. The NL Central, it's your Chicago Cubs. Them boys can bop. They are now 54 and 36. They have a 4-game lead over the Milwaukee Brewers. They're 50 and 40. They have a 6.5 game lead over the Seattle. Oh, God, not Seattle again. Over the St. Louis Cardinals. Cincinnati Reds are 46 and 44. They're 8 games back. And the Pittsburgh Pirates, they're 38 and 53, 16.5 games back. Then we go to the last division, the NL East. Last but not least, Phillies are in 1st place, 53 and 37. They're trying to hold the New York Mets back. The Mets are just 1.5 games back, 52 and 39. 3rd place, it's your Miami Marlins, 40 and 48, 12 games back. You got the Braves in 4th. They lost 4 in a row, 39 and 50. And then you got the Washington Nationals, who have lost 3 in a row. They're 37 and 53, 16 games back. That's all the news around the league, all the standings. That's how it went down. That's how everything remains as of right now. And then we had one sad news. It was Bobby Jenks. If you remember him from the 2005 Chicago White Sox World Series championship team, he passed away to a form of stomach cancer. He was just 44 years old. So condolences to him and to his family and friends. And, make sure to go see some Bobby Jenks highlights. He was one of my favorites on that squad, man. That was a fun Chicago White Sox team. And I used to pick these dudes in MVP baseball all the time, man. That was one of the teams. Even though I was a Braves fan, I used to mess with that team a lot, man. That was a fun team. So, yeah, go watch yourself some Bobby Jenks highlights and see how good he was, man. So that is it for our MO beat. And now we're going to head into our next and final segment.
It's time for your Braves forecast.
It's time for the Braves forecast, where we look at the upcoming Braves series. And that's going to be a series against the Athletics. The Braves are going out west. The Braves are going into this one, as I mentioned before, 39 and 50. The Athletics are 37 and 55. The Braves are in the last 10 games, they're 2 and 8. The Athletics 4 and 6 in the last 10 games. So a bit better than the Braves, but not too much better. Game 1 is going to be the rookie pitching for the Braves on Tuesday night. 10. All these games are late, man. If I watch an inning, that's a lot. Game 1 and 2, they're going to be at 10:05 p.m. Eastern time. Game 3 on Thursday is going to be at 9:05 Eastern time. So, yeah, these games start late for me. I'm probably not going to catch much of them. But, again, the Game 1 is going to be started by the rookie Didier Fuentes. He's 0-2 with a 9 ERA. Jeffrey Springs is on the mound for the Athletics. He's 6-6 with a 4.07 ERA. Game 2 is going to be Jekyll and Hyde, Bryce Elder. Let's see what we get from him. He's 2-6 with a 5.92 ERA. Going against Mitch Spence, he's 2-4 with a 4.06 ERA. And then it's going to be Spencer Strider in the final game of the series. He's 3-7 with a 3.93 ERA. Going up against JP Sears, who's 7-7 with a 4.76 ERA. Realistically speaking, you only got one game for the Braves where you are going to get the advantage when it comes to the pitching. The only one I give to the Braves is that final game with Spencer Strider on the mound going up against JP Sears. Game 1, Didier Fuentes on the mound. I'm not going to expect too much of that one. Bryce Elder, I'm pitching Game 2. I'm not going to expect too much in that one as well. So realistically speaking, the Braves are probably going to be 40-52 after this series is done with. We're going to be probably 12 games under. That's how I'm calling it. But anyways, keep an eye on Jacob Wilson for the Athletics. He has a team leading 335 batting average. Brent Rooker, he leads the team with 18 homers. Keep an eye on him as well. These guys have some good young players. Lawrence Butler is another guy that I really, really enjoy seeing play. I see some of his highlights. I'm not watching the Athletics games like that. I'm being honest with you, but he's a good, solid player from what I've seen. And in the game, man, the Braves, they just need to rediscover their power, man. I keep saying it, the power and just consistent offense. I keep saying it in every series preview. Who knows if they're going to find it? You got a new hitting coach this year, Tim Hires. You got rid of Kevin Teitzer. And you're thinking going into the season, all right, we're going to see some changes. These guys, maybe they got a new philosophy, a new stand when it comes to the offense. But dude, it's literally been the same. It's literally been the same from the last couple of years, and I don't know, man. I don't know if it's gonna get any better. If this team, I'm assuming if this team goes into the All-Star break, being double digits under 500, I'm assuming you're gonna have to be sellers, man. You're gonna have to be sellers because you're not gonna turn it around in 2 weeks after the All-Star break, before the deadline. So this might be it, man. Depending on how this series and the next one goes, it might be it. It might be GG's for the Braves. It's over. Just watch the games for, your favorite players if you want. See how they do. But as a team collectively, I don't think this team has what it takes to turn it around. You keep thinking, all right, this is it. This is the moment. When we swept the Braves, you probably could sweep the Braves. The Braves against the Braves, they might do it. But when we swept the Mets, that first series, you were thinking, all right, this is it, boys. They're going to get it going. They're going to turn it around. But, that was probably their peak. That was a peak moment for the Braves. After that, it's been going back downhill. You lost the series against the Marlins right after that, which you should have won. But listen, I don't know. This is a frustrating year so far. It's a frustrating team. These guys are talented, but they're just not living up to it. And I'm sure they're frustrated as well. And at some point, you want Anthopoulos to make some moves and help the squad out. But if this team is still, like I said, double digits under 500 heading into the All-Star break, he's probably not going to do any much to improve the team for this year. He's going to be looking to probably wave the white flag this year and do something to help out the team going forward. So, we'll see how they do out west against the Athletics. Hopefully playing in that minor league stadium, Sutter Health Park, helps them out a little bit and gets the offense going. But I'm not expecting too much, man. I'm being honest. The pitching is depleted. So starting pitching is depleted. You're going to have to go bullpen games, as you saw in the previous series. You're going to have to go Didier Fuentes, apparently, and then you're going to have to go Bryce Elder. So whenever you're getting those 3 games, you're going up against the wall because the offense is already terrible. And then you got the games where Strider is pitching and Grant Holmes is pitching. those are your best shots. Those are only 2 games, 2 out of 5 games that you might be at an advantage when it comes to starting pitching. But again, if the offense can't hit when these guys are pitching, what's it any good for you? We saw that in the previous series just now with the Orioles. You had Grant Holmes gave you a decent start. Spencer Strider gave you a good decent start, and you couldn't do anything about it. You still took the L's in those games. So I mean, we'll see how it goes. These guys are definitely have their backs against the wall now, and I don't think anything's going to change heading into the end of the first half of the season. So anyways, we'll see on Friday how this series went. We got a kind of a cross episode coming out on Friday as well. It's my brother-in-law's show, Mike in New Haven, MIC apostrophe D in New Haven. We had an interview, a pre-recorded interview with the Rocket, Roger Clemens, back in February. That episode is going to be released this Friday. I'm going to post it on all the social media platforms. I'm going to post a link. You'll see me you won't hear me, but you will see me if you're on the video version of the interview. It's going to be up on YouTube. And then on the audio side, you're not going to hear me. You're going to hear my brother-in-law, Mike. He's phenomenal. You'll see. And go ahead and follow his show, man. Go ahead and follow his show. I'll put the link in this episode as well, so you're able to like and subscribe easily. But this guy's a beast when it comes to interviews. He's had plenty of great guests, people in the sports industry, law enforcement individuals. The guy had the real Donnie Brasco, for Christ's sake. So tune into his show. Tune in. We're gonna post it on Friday. It's gonna go live. I might be able to put the audio side of the version on the Chop Seat feed as well. We're gonna see if I can do that, just in case, if it makes it easier for you to listen to the interview. But still, go wherever you listen to your podcast, go and follow and subscribe to his show as well. So like that, you can get the interview from both feeds. All right. So make sure you go. It's going to be a very, very good interview, guys. I'm telling you right now. Like I said, you won't hear me, but if you're on the on the video side, you will see me there. So I hope you guys enjoy that one. I'll put the reminder up probably Thursday, so you guys can catch that one. So anyways, we'll see you Friday on regular scheduled programming of the Chop Seat, and then I hope to see you at night on the Mike in New Haven feed to catch that Roger Clemens interview. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. Keep sharing the show, and we will see you